Ubooters from around the world. My name is Kenza. I'm 10 years old and I live in Dubai, UAE. Welcome to our Oboot Zoom session where my co-host Aicha, who is 12 years old and lives in Tunisia, Tunis, and I will be interviewing our guest changemaker, Kingsley Ezeani, who is from Cambridge, USA. Kingsley Ezeani is a Mid-Career MPA graduate from Harvard Kennedy School and a graduate of University of Oxford Said Business School, where he earned his MBA. He is the co-founder of CashEx, a startup that aims to solve problems in high remittance fees experienced by African migrants in UK and the US. He is an entrepreneur with 12 years of experience building a scaling technology business in Africa. Kingsley's work links to several sustainable development goals, especially Goal 10, reduce inequality. Aicha and I will ask questions to Kingsley about his background, his journey, his work, his skills, and his impact. We hope that you will enjoy this Zoom session, and I will now start with our first question to our guest. Can you please tell us a little bit about you, what you do for work?
Thank you very much, Kenza, for that question. So I run a fintech company that makes it easier for people to send money to their family in different countries. So the fees are high in many platforms, and we are trying to bring the fees down to make it easier for them to send money.
At what age did you think of CashX?
So I started working on CashX last year. I was 31 then, but I built my first business when I was 18 years old and still living in Nigeria.
I read on the website that CashX is the future of digital banking for Africans. Can you please elaborate on that?
Okay, I will. So, many banking tools are not available for most Africans. There's a large number of people that are unbanked with limited access to banking services. CashX wants to solve this problem. We want to give these people who don't have access to banking information. We want to give them a digital bank account. So we are building digital banking services for them. And the hope is that when we can give them more access, they're able to do more and be more prosperous.
If you're taking the fees, then how do you make money?
So we have a model that matches transfers from migrants sending money to Africa with businesses in Africa that want to send money back. So, and in this model, every transfer is matched. We charge businesses a fee. So businesses are therefore subsidizing it for the migrants by paying a small fee.
What social problem do you want to solve in CashX?
So we want to solve the problem of inequality. It's migrants from Africa have to pay higher fees than most people elsewhere to send money. And and this is not fair. It is cheaper to send money between the US and the UK than between the US and Nigeria. So this is the problem that we are working to solve. And it aligns with the UN Sustainable Development Goal 10C, which is to reduce to less than 3% the transaction cost of migrant transfers and eliminate high remittance fees that are higher than 5%.
What were the main obstacles?
One of the first obstacles that I experienced was in putting together a team to work on this. I had to find a co-founder, and I searched far and wide for that, and eventually I was able to find someone to build this with me. Then I had to raise funding to work on the business, and it is not easy to raise funding for a new startup. So this was an obstacle that I faced, but thankfully I was able to overcome it.
How will building a mobile currency help impact on Africans?
So we are going to reduce the fees for migrants, and what this will do is that when African migrants send money back to Africa, high fees that they have to pay, fees that could be as high as 10%, these fees are eliminated and they don't have to pay these high fees. And the result is that more money gets to their families in Africa, and their family can then use this money on food, on education, on better access to healthcare.
Thank you.
Did anybody help you create CashEx?
My co-founder, who I met last year, when I discussed the idea with him, he was very excited about it, and he wanted to join me on the project. And we decided to work together, and he helped me with creating it. We built it together.
What or who inspired you to go to Harvard Kennedy School?
Yes. So Harvard Kennedy School has been producing a lot of leaders and change makers, and I have seen many people that finished from Harvard Kennedy School go on to do great things. And I felt that if I was able to get into Harvard Kennedy School, I would learn how to be a better leader and how to be a better change maker in my community. That was why I applied to Harvard Kennedy School.
Thank you.
If you could go in the past and change one thing, what would it be?
That is an interesting question. So if I could go in the past and change one thing, I would say that I could have I could have done a lot more volunteer work when I was younger, and I did some, but I did not do as much as I could have done. And I believe that it is very important for us to give back to our community whenever we can. And volunteer work is a great way to do that. It's it's something that I could have done more of, and something that I could change if I could go back.
I have heard that there is a mission with Techhive Africa. So, what is the mission with Techhive Africa?
So, Techhive, the business I founded in Nigeria, before when I was much younger. Techhive wants to help small businesses in Africa drive digital transformation and reach their target audience. And this is not easy. So we work with them in different ways to reach this audience and scale their businesses.
How did this program with MIT help you?
The program at MIT. Yes. So I am currently in the Delta V accelerator at MIT, and the accelerator is going to help us scale our business in a short period of time. We are going to spend 3 months working with our customers, developing the product further, scaling the product, and then we are going to then pitch to investors in multiple demo days. And it's going to be a great way to get a lot of things done and potentially meet investors that could help the business. If you remember, I mentioned that one obstacle that we had to overcome earlier was fundraising. And this is a challenge that many young businesses have to overcome. So if you're working on a new business, you need to find a way to meet funders, get access to funders, and that this program at MIT is going to help with that.
How do you find funding as an entrepreneur?
So the process of finding funding as an entrepreneur can be difficult, but there are many ways to do it. You would ideally want to meet angel investors and venture capitalists to give you money. You tell them about your idea, you pitch your idea to them and try and convince them that your idea makes sense and they should fund you. So that is what we have had to do, and that is what many early stage businesses have to do to get funding.
How did the 12 years of experience driving growth for a digital business help you do CashX?
So my previous experience running businesses in Africa and driving growth for them, it helped me first of all to understand what to do and what not to do while building a new business. So I was able to move much faster. Secondly, because I've had some experience in the past, I was able to convince investors that I can acquire users for this business and that they should take a bet on me. So it has been helpful.
You mentioned about angel investors.
Yes.
What is that?
So an angel investor is someone who invests his own personal money in a startup or a new business. So he hears an idea, he believes that there is a chance that this idea will be successful, and he then takes some of his money and puts in the business. So yeah, and that is what angel investors are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What other countries do you wish to help?
So right now, we want to start with Nigeria, but then we hope to spread the service to expand to many other countries in Africa. And hopefully when we are operating across Africa, we can then begin to expand to other places that have similar problems, places in Latin America, places in Asia that have these problems of high money transfer fees. So that is the plan.
How was your childhood like?
Okay. I am the first of 6 children, so I have 5 younger siblings. And we all lived together with our 2 parents while growing up. So my childhood was a very interesting one. It was very family oriented, with all of us growing up together, learning from each other, getting to see other sides of ourselves. And it is one that I am very thankful for.
Thank you.
What are your future dreams?
So my future dream is to build a very successful business. I want to take CashX to many countries around the world. Beyond that, I want to find ways to keep making an impact in my community, and that is something that I am really looking forward to.
How does your work build up to global equality?
So, the United Nations, in their Sustainable Development Goals, they mentioned that in Goal 10C that it is important we reduce inequality. And one of the things that drive global inequality is high money transfer fees. This is because people who send money back to families, they have to pay very high fees for this, and this just creates a cycle of inequality. So we believe at CashX that by helping to reduce these fees, helping to make it easier to send money, we are going to take steps further on the journey towards global equality.
Thank you.
What was the biggest risk you ever took in the making of CashX?
So I would say that the biggest risk was starting CashX in the first place. I came to the US to study at Harvard Kennedy School, and entrepreneurship is difficult. So for me to choose to focus fully on entrepreneurship while I was here was a big risk for me. I could have applied for different jobs, which would have been a less risky path, but I saw the problem and I saw how big it was, and I wanted to solve it. So I chose to take that risk, to take that bold step and start working on a solution to the problem.
How do you put an impact on the world?
We are going to make impact on the world by helping increase equality and fairness for people that have been marginalized. And the first step that we are going to take towards this is making it easier for them to send money between themselves. And this is going to lead to more people having money to spend on things that are important to them, such as education, healthcare, and nutrition. This is how we want to make an impact on the world.
Who was the person who supported you the most and how?
So I would say that while working on this project, my co-founder Scott supported me in a very big way. He was working on CashEx while still in school, and it was not an easy task, but he always brought out time to work with me, and we were able to get a lot done in a short period of time.
Where do you think you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
In 5 to 10 years, I see myself running a venture that makes impact in people's lives. I want to meet people who my work has changed their lives and have made things easier and better for them. And this is something that I dream of and something that I am working towards, being impactful, driving change in my community.
Who was the first person to sign in CashX?
So we had a business that was interested in working with CashX, and they were one of the first people to pilot with us when we were just starting out there. So we tested out the idea with them. Also, some friends around me who had issues sending money, they also tried CashX too, and these were the first people to use it.
What do you do for fun?
So I like to hang out with friends I like to read, I like to watch movies, and I like to play chess. So these are things that I enjoy doing.
If CashX didn't exist, what other project do you think you would have started?
If CashX did not exist, I could be working on a number of different projects. I could be working on one that would help small businesses in Africa get access to credit. This is a problem that many small businesses in Africa have to deal with. They need credit and loans to grow their business. But most times they don't have access to this. And this is not because they are bad borrowers, but just because there are very few systems to give them credit scores and access their credits. So it is something that I am interested in, and if I wasn't working on CashX, I would be working on that.
What was your favorite subject in Harvard?
So while I was in Harvard, my favorite subject was a course on digital government. It was a course about how the government in different countries can use technology to provide better services for their citizens, and I found it very interesting because when a government uses technology, they are able to reach more people that would not have had previous interactions with them, and then there are many ways to get this done. I learned all of this in a course, and it was one of my favorites while I was at Harvard.
What was your dream job as a child?
When I was a child, I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to go to space and see all the wonders that existed in space. I found it very interesting and very fascinating. But as time went by, I began to have other interests, and then I went on the path that I am on now.
Before we end our interview, I have one last question for Kingsley. Do you have any advice for a young person who wants to become a change maker?
Yes, thank you for that question. So my advice would be to study hard, do well at school, and always be kind to people. When you are kind to people, you get to understand what they are dealing with. You get to empathize more with them. When you study hard at school and when you work hard at school, you get to shine brightly in your class and have access to opportunities. Over time, all of this would set you on that path to being a change maker. Thank you.
Thank you, Kingsley, for the great discussion and for all the things we learned today. Thank you, Abooters, for listening to this interview. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe to our YouTube channel. so you can hear about upcoming sessions with our changemakers. Please also tell your friends about Oboot and share our social media links with them. And last but not least, go to oboot.co to learn about opportunities to collect digital badges and help us plant trees.